Hi kids. I thought I'd come to you today and talk about budgeting, how our family works, its budget, and what we've done. So the way I do my budget, I have done since I was a grown-up. So since I worked full-time, which was when I was 18. So I've managed my money this way as a single person. I met my husband when I was 28, and once we combined finances, we did our finances this way. So I've been a single person, we've been a married couple, well, we've been a together couple, combining finances, and then a married couple, and now we've got 3 kids. So this method has worked for me for like, how old am I now? 42. What's that? 18? 24 years? Yes, so it works for us. I rejig it all the time just to suit current circumstances, but this is generally how we operate. So we have the advantage of having unlimited bank accounts with our bank because we have a home loan, so we don't pay any account keeping fees, and so it helps us to keep our money separate. So I'm just looking at my banking app. We've got a few bank accounts, and it helps us to separate things. So the main accounts that we have are groceries and fuel, that's one account, a family activities account, a bills account. My husband and I both have a play account, so one each, where that's where like discretionary money goes. We get a certain amount each fortnight to have no questions asked about spending, and then after that we have to discuss it. We have an account for clothes and shoes, which also covers like household goods that aren't groceries or fuel or bills. And then we have an account for saving and kids accounts. And we have an account where our pay goes. So my husband gets paid fortnightly, I get paid weekly. Both of our pays are fluctuating. So he works shift work, so he has the potential to work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on any kind of roster that they so desire for him to work. And I work casually, so some weeks I work 3 hours and some weeks I work 20 hours. It's just dependent on what fits in with me, what fits in with the store that I'm working at. So our income is variable. So we have mostly lived on variable income. We haven't always had a fixed income, and so this way of working and living seems to work for us. So we have those bank accounts that are all split up, and roughly every 3 months I go through our accounts, and this is where the sort of explanation of how we live comes in. So I download the statements for the previous 12 months. So I'm just about to do it now because we're at October, which is usually I do it the 1st of October, but I'm a bit late. So I download the statements from the 1st of October to the 30th of September in all of our bank accounts that we have. Pop them all into one spreadsheet, so there's thousands of transactions, and start to categorize each thing by what it is that we spent the money on. So I've got some pretty broad categories, but they're generally utilities, so water, gas and electricity all go under the same thing. Subscriptions, we currently have Netflix and Disney, but also our ambulance membership, which is separate, in Victoria is in that, and my husband has like union fees and a few things like that that go under that. Then we've got insurance, we've got car expenses, which are registration, the insurance goes in the insurance category, and car servicing. What other bills do we have? Oh, like phone, internet, that sort of thing. So I categorize everything into what I'm spending the money on: groceries, fuel, anything that comes from a department store. So Kmart, Big W generally goes under the clothes and shoes, because I generally buy that sort of stuff from there. I buy the kids' clothes from there. But if we've done anything like online transactions or anything, it all goes into the category that it goes in. And then, so I have a year's worth of spending. And then I figure out how much it costs us to live, essentially. So add up all the times we've gone to Coles, add up all the times we've gone to Woolies, add up all the times we've gone to Costco. That all goes together into the groceries budget. And so I see how much I spent in the previous 12 months. And then I decide, once I've categorized everything, if I'm happy with the amount that we're spending on certain categories or if I want to change them. So I either am happy and allow that amount in the fortnightly budget, or I'm not happy and I either reduce or expand what I currently put aside. So for example, I get the groceries and it's $10,000 for the year. I then divide that by 12 to get our monthly expenditure. I divide it by 26 to get our fortnightly expenditure. I divide it by 52 to get our weekly expenditure. I use those numbers as just like a benchmark to figure out what things are. And then the fortnightly number gets added up and transferred automatically to each bank account. So on payday, we have 5 or 6 different transfers that happen automatically that transfer to our groceries and fuel money, our family activities money, our play money for each account. A tiny bit goes to each child for savings, and the bills, like for the bills, get set aside. So over the whole cost of the year, that bill is like everything's divided by a fortnight, and we just put that money into that account. So when we're spending money, we take it from the appropriate account. We don't take it from like our general pool of money, which we get paid into. So some fortnights we have money left over, some fortnights we don't. So generally we just leave that money in the account that we're paid into, because if we're short, then we need it, and if we're over, then it's sort of savings. All our accounts at the moment are offset accounts on our mortgage, so spare money is working for us anyway. And if we have, like if we're saving for a holiday or something, we figure out how much we want to spend and put a certain amount aside each fortnight in that like holiday savings account. We're yet to have a holiday. Since our youngest was born, we went away once when she was like 3 months old, literally down to the beach for a week. It cost us $5,000 and it's ridiculous to travel within Australia. So we just haven't prioritised that. But yeah, so it's pretty set and forget. I set up the transfers as automatic, so I don't think about it. The only time I think about it is if I think the pays are going to be short and we don't have any buffer. So I will then reduce things like the grocery money. I can't reduce bills because bills cost what they cost, but I try to be a bit more frugal in my groceries for that fortnight, or hopefully have some left over from the previous fortnight. So we have only recently started using our credit card. We get one with our home loan, like it's a free, we don't pay the annual fee. And so with our credit card, in the last maybe 2 years, we've started using it very regularly. So when I go to the supermarket, tap the credit card, and then immediately pay that money back from the grocery account. So that way we're not carrying a balance, we're not paying any interest, but we are accumulating rewards points. Don't know what we're going to use them for, but we're accumulating them. We just figured we might as well have the money working for us in as many ways as possible, while still keeping on top of it. 10 years ago, that wouldn't have worked for us because we are spenders, we are not savers, and if there's money available, we spend it. But we have become more disciplined over time, and so have started using the credit card in this way to sort of try and get ahead a little bit. So yeah, that's how our money works for us. Now, I do that every 3 months. So every 3 months I download the previous 12-month statements. So I'm capturing the same transactions many times over the year. I understand that. But I figure to get a snapshot of what life actually costs, you need to have 12 months worth of transactions, because you don't, like, I only service my car twice a year. So if I haven't serviced it in the previous 3 months, I'm not going to allocate money towards that. Same with like our council rates, we only pay once a year. Actually we pay that in installments, but it's billed once a year. Electricity and gas, sometimes a monthly, sometimes a 2 monthly, like it just depends what schedule you have on. And there's things that only come up once a year. Insurances mostly are yearly, car registration is yearly. So if you're not getting the 12 months worth of transactions, you're not capturing all of your costs. So it's actually quite eye-opening when you add up how many times you go to McDonald's. McDonald's is one of the only fast foods we can go to because our eldest daughter has celiac disease, and so there's not a lot that she can have. And so like when you categorize your transactions and you alphabetize them and it all comes up McDonald's and you've been like 100 times in the year, that's like, wow, eye-opening. And then we decide that we're not going to go to McDonald's as much, and so I don't allocate as much money to that. But it's also good to see that, like, overall your spending is what it is, and it's good to have a reality check. So I do it every 3 months just to keep on top of rising costs, and very rarely do things go down, if I'm being honest. Everything always goes up, so I don't want to be going the whole year without realising how much things have increased. Those regular bills, they just creep up a couple of dollars every month, and all of a sudden, like, you need to allocate another $50 at the end of the year and you haven't got it. So keeping a handle on it every 3 months helps to keep it in check, and it also helps us to reassess, like, what we're doing, and be real about what it is that we're doing and how we're spending our money, and if we're happy with it or not happy with it. So my husband generally lets me take the reins when it comes to finances. It's something that doesn't really fascinate him. He doesn't really get too involved, but once I've done the spreadsheets going, and he likes to be involved in all the decisions about changing amounts and things like that. So I don't do it all by myself, but I do the bulk of the crappy stuff on my own. And then we discuss everything. In recent times, we've reduced the amount that we get as play money for the fortnight, because we realised that we were spending on frivolous things and we needed to rein that in. And so even though that money is no questions asked, it still got to, like, we just weren't comfortable with the amount that we were spending. So we actually cut it in half. We were getting $100 each a fortnight, now we get $50 each a fortnight. And sometimes it's not enough. Like, if you want to buy something, you have to save up. But it just helps us to keep a track of what we're spending our money on. And it's really eye-opening that we spend about the same amount on daycare as we do on food. We currently have 2 children in daycare. Next year that will reduce a little bit because we only have 1 child in daycare. Our middle child is going to school. So look, that's the way we work with our money, and it's worked for us for a long time. Tweaks happen here and there, but generally that's how we do it. And look, if I go 4 or 5 months without doing it, then I go 4 or 5 months without doing it. It's not religiously done every 3 months. Like, I was meant to do it on the 1st of October and I've just been too busy. So I don't even know what the date is now, but it's in the teens. Apparently, just looked on my camera, it's the 15th of September. It's not. It's the 16th of October. I haven't done it yet this month, and I'll probably do it next week or the week after. So it's not, like, rigid and strict, but I do like to keep an eye on it, because if I don't, things get out of hand. That's how we budget our money, and keep an eye on what things are costing. If we need to save up for something big, we figure out how much it's going to cost and how much extra money we have, and how long it's going to take us to do it. We generally don't buy big things now unless we have the cash for them. We don't put things on the credit card and pay them off over time, because we just don't pay them off. We're not that strict or disciplined. We like to save the money first and then have the thing. So I've been looking for a robot vacuum for ages, and I finally got one. It was on special at Costco, and I spent significantly less than I thought I would on it. It's not the brand new model, but it's the model that I was comfortable spending that amount of money on. So when we recently moved house, so the end of August, and we needed a new TV, we needed a new, like, sofa bed, because in this house my mum comes to stay. She has her own bedroom here. I'm in her bedroom now. It's also my office, but we needed a sofa bed that would turn like a couch into a bed. So when she's not here, I have the couch with the room, and when she is here, we fold it out. And we paid outright for that sofa bed. Lucky that it was on sale and we bought it. We knew that expense was coming because we had a 4-month settlement. So for 4 months we saved for it and paid for it. We also had to get a new washing machine. We knew that these things were coming up, and we'd sort of been saving in the background because we knew we wanted to move. So we just don't buy anything on credit because we are not disciplined enough to pay it back. So if we want something, we've got to wait. And that's not what we've done in the past. Both of us came into the marriage with some debt, or into our relationship with some debt, mostly from just being young people spending money that we didn't have. but we managed to pay that off in the 2 years before we got married. Kept our money separate in that time and just paid a certain amount into a joint account, paid our own debts, paid all our bills, and then came into the marriage with a clean slate. But since then we've tried to cash flow everything, just because we're not good at paying things back. We're good at saving, we're just really, really good at spending. But yeah, so that's how life works for us, and it's working so far. So hopefully it'll keep working, and if it doesn't, we'll fix it, we'll figure it out, and we'll do something else. But yeah, how does your life differ? What differs in your budget? Let me know in the comments. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Like this video if you like the content, and as usual, ask any questions in the comments or suggest other videos that I can make. See ya!